as the sun, I feel what you don't say. Scorpio moon, I see through the gray. I'm tuned to your soul, I read the unseen. 8th house mind, 12th house dreams. Tarot in my hands, planets in my sight. I decode the dark, turn shadow to light. Every chart's a mirror, every transit a sign. The past, the now, the future, all intertwined. I'm here for your healing, your truth, your rebirth. Reading your stars, reminding your worth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Danyell, Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader, astrologer divine.
Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. I said it last week and I'm saying it again this week. This week, the sky is absolutely doing the most, okay? We have the annular solar eclipse that is today, and that's in Aquarius. We have Mercury is going to station retrograde later on this week. It's in a pre-shadow phase retrograde. We'll discuss that a little bit more. And we have Neptune and Saturn joining together in Aries. This is not subtle energy. This is energy that is majorly shifted, and it happens far apart. It doesn't happen all the time. So this is major. If you've been feeling pressure building before this eclipse, that's normal because eclipses are rarely felt the day of, okay? Or that exact day, even though we just had, I think yesterday, Jesse Jackson passed away. And usually that happens during an eclipse energy, but it's also felt more on. Okay, so this is just unfolding the weeks before that we've been feeling this eclipse energy, and then we have Mercury slowing down in Pisces, and the clarity isn't that clear intuitively, or is it? Are the secrets coming out and they're being very exact, very matter of fact, without beating around the bush? And yeah, but Mercury retrograding is going to bring a lot of emotional and intuitive energy coming and secrets being revealed. In this episode, I'm going to break down the whole week, including Monday. I always do the Monday of next week because usually Mondays are holidays and Mondays are very moody days ruled by the moon. So I always throw Monday in there for the next week in case I cannot make it. But this week changes everything. We're going to dive into this eclipse energy. So let's go. First, I want to reflect on some things. First of all, reset. If you look online, a common trend is Sunday reset. I'm going to reset. Let's do a reset. Do a reset with me. That is very Neptune and Saturn and Aries. Saturn will be entering Aries, but Neptune and Aries. So Aries represents a new start, new beginning. People are using the word reset. Just get ready for that energy being forever going. Before, when it was in Pisces, it was always about the end and the fear of the end. Now it's the fear of the beginning of something new, but also the energy of a reset. Okay. So we have that. Also, I want to talk about Los Angeles. We have currently major rain if you live in LA. I live in LA. I'm pointing to the window. There is some sun coming out currently, but it rained all day yesterday. It never rains in Southern California. That is a myth. However, it is Pisces season. I know I've said several times in several other videos that when we enter water energy, we do have some weather and water elements. Hello, Miss Queen Alexa 10. She said, hiya, how you doing? Welcome to the video. Okay. Now, LA floods. I do want you to know if you live in Los Angeles. Let me pull up the chart real quick. I just want to show you that we have a Virgo moon, a Virgo sun. We have a Virgo sun here if you live in Los Angeles. So anything opposing that Virgo sun, which is very Pisces energy, deals with a lot of LA. Okay. A lot of oppositions also to that Virgo moon, that Virgo sun in the 12th house. A lot of celebrities, Hollywood, illusions, deceptions. Anyway, yes, not just that, but other stuff. But one thing you will understand is that LA will be feeling the weather during Pisces season. And Pisces themes, any water sign represents flood, water, dissolving boundaries, infrastructures being overwhelmed because where is the infrastructure? There's no structure. as well. So be aware of that. And it's in LA 6th house. That is literal cleanse, just so you know. Daily operations, labor systems, work, sanitation, all that maintenance is what you get with that energy too. Okay. Now, another thing I want to say, um, and because our sun is in Los Angeles, because our sun is in that 12th house, there are things that may be uh, coming from the darkness. You know, it's almost like the tunnels are getting cleaned and being flushed out. That kind of energy, not literally, but metaphorically as well too. So, yeah, just get ready for that LA energy. Now, I want to talk about JayZ. Someone tweeted, his name is Vlad TV. He does the podcast. I don't know much about him. I actually never seen his podcast, but it has been an option to watch on my YouTube suggestions. I just never watched it. I think he does more like hip hop. Anyway, but he tweeted, he's a blogger, and he tweeted about JayZ. Actually, let me read the actual tweet. I don't have my phone. Do I need to pull it up here? I just don't know how to work X. He tweeted it on X, and let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Let us see. Let us see. Okay. His name is Vlad. Come on, search Vlad. DJ Vlad is his name. Okay, let's see if I can pull this up here. Hold up. Let me see if I can share it. This is a very spontaneous thing that I'm doing here. Stop the screening. Let me add this window here. Let's see if I can get it. Here we go. Okay. Is it sharing? Okay. Let's scooch on to the share clip here. Sorry if you guys are listening to this via podcast. I'm trying to. Why is it just showing that blackness? That annoys me. Anyway, but we're gonna pull up Vlad's tweet here. Okay. Here it is. Here, this tweet. It says here, I have a confession. This is February 14th. I've said this in several videos. Okay. Anyway, but on February 14th, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan Thee Stallion, by the way. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. And they bribed the judge too. JayZ did a verse for his grandson's new album. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The LA police are all on Jay's payroll. And it doesn't stop with LA, but if you're not LA, Los Angeles, just discussed that with the illusions of Hollywood, but you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. And he's referring to Tory Lanez. He's a rapper singer. I don't think he's a singer. I think he's more a rapper. He went to jail because he was accused of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. He is currently doing time. While he was in jail, he was stabbed 14 times. And I guess he's saying the Mexican guy who stabbed Tory. Anyway, the three Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal all paid off Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory, even though it's a state case. Trump can only pardon federal cases, but knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. Okay. And then I have here, what else did he write? I can't keep these lies a secret anymore. I've discussed that. The secrets will be revealed when Mercury retrograding in Pisces. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. He has not taken us down. He wrote this February 14th. He released a podcast here. I don't think this has anything. I think this is more about his work on 20 hours ago. And then after that, for everyone checking on me, I'm okay for now. And then 2 hours ago, he put, for the record, I wasn't hacked. He is not playing, y'all. Okay. Now, I don't know how to work. Let's see if I can put it here. No, I don't know how to work it, but X, and I'm sorry. Here replies. Okay, he responded to this tweet here, and Oh, someone put some stuff. Is Tory Lane's appeal being reviewed by the Supreme Court? And he said no. He took a screenshot. I guess this looks like some type of AI thing here. Um, and then he responded to a lot of people. Why are you confessing now? He said the money stopped coming. Mercury retrograding represents finances, trade, commerce. Okay. And it's sitting next to Venus, which represents money too. I said money being lost. I've said this in previous videos. The money stopped coming and he never signed an NDA. Woo! So he's about to tell the T. What else do they have? Low key too shook to retweet this. He put, I don't blame you, save yourself. What else does he have here? I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Vlad, be safe out there. JayZ could have your security on payroll. He says, I always use Rock Nation security. I need to get my own now. Someone else said, how much they paying you? He put how much? Like, y'all, I'm too secretive to put this, but he put how much Rock Nation pays him. It says it started with 10,000 a month during a trial, and that's the Megan Thee Stallion trial. It went up to 50,000 a month. All the payments were in Bitcoin, so they couldn't trace. Again, Mercury retrograding in Pisces, things that are hidden next to Venus, dealing with finances, gone, disappeared. Where did it go? Okay. Vlad, stop clout chasing, dude. If it's true that Jay paid you, then you know you can't possibly be the only blogger. He paid. So considering everything, you just said why didn't you name any other bloggers who Jay supposedly paid? So basically, I just read that like slop. Sorry. I'll blame it on Mercury. Anyway, reading out loud is not my forte, especially when people kind of write like they're speaking, but no excuses. The point is that this guy's like, why are you the only blogger speaking? You know, if he paid bloggers, you know, and he said every blogger is on JayZ's payroll. We all got paid with Bitcoin. Now that the price dropped, you'll see a lot of us turning on him. And then someone else tweeted something, I don't know, they must have deleted it, and he put correct, their last check bounced. And then he even responded to something else. If it's over for JayZ, I keep saying he will be the only guy arrested for the Epstein files, the fall guy. And then he responded, DJ Vlad responded, it's deeper than that. JayZ is Epstein. Okay. Anyway, and this is on the 14th. He talks about the court again, but that's what I got here. Okay. You get the gist. He's basically saying all the things. Now, is this true? Allege. Okay. I don't want to get sued for anything. I'm just here speaking astrology. According to astrology, when a planet is retrograding in its sign, then the sign is also not working its best. So Pisces usually keeps things hidden. And when it's retrograding in Mercury, things are not hidden. It's going to be said. So usually Mercury in Pisces represents keeping secrets, having secrets, and things that are in the dark people can't see. And now people can see it, especially sitting next to Venus, right? He tweeted all this. He said what he said. Okay, you have that energy. Hold on, let me try to pull up the chart here. Wait a minute, and let me try to get my chart back up. I'm not used to pulling up other things, so there is that. I have to get back to my routine of things. Anyway, so you have that. Also, too, Mercury retrograding in Pisces. Get ready for more conspiracies. Maybe it's connected to Epstein, sure, but also personally get ready for some secrets. Also, bribing the judge. Jupiter is trining Mercury. Jupiter represents the law, so the things in fairness and awareness of law and things from the past is going to be brought back up. Jupiter is in a sign Cancer. We'll get into that too. Also, too, Venus represents a female, represents finances, and you have Megan Thee Stallion. It's not a coincidence too that Megan Thee Stallion's birthday was, I think, yesterday. A lot of highlighting of what's going on for her. I should do her chart reading too. because I should have did that for Tory Lanez. If I didn't already, I probably did. I'll probably look at my behind the paywall and release it for the public because I'm pretty sure I've done that and release it back on there. But back to current times and everything else. I do want you to understand too that Bitcoin is down. I don't know anything about Bitcoin, but that Mercury retrograding again, money is lost. I've said this before. What I'm going to start doing is say the things that I've said so you guys can know. I am going to, well, it should be linked in the description box. I have the videos that I've discussed, all of the things Mercury retrograding in Pisces already. And I have a video on that. I've done it already. The link will be down below. There's timestamps. You can jump right to the Mercury retrograding Pisces. I've also done a video of Saturn entering Aries and Saturn conjunct Mercury, Neptune. I have a whole playlist on that, but if you want the current video, that's down there. But check out the playlist because Mercury conjunct Neptune, whole playlist on that so you guys can know, okay? But Mercury rules trade, it rules markets, it rules commerce, it rules financial anything. So like if I buy something, if I return something, if something's on sale, transactions, okay? Pisces is an illusion. It's secrets. It's also dealing with emotions. It's dealing with things that are hidden, things that are lost. Pisces also represents endings too, as well. Okay. So yeah, that's what we have for the current news. I thought it was some interesting tea, so I wanted to bring that up. Here are the dates for this week. This week we have February 16th. Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. We're feeling that already. And this is the problem with weekly transits, which you guys need to understand. The weekly transits, yeah, they talk about current days, but you feel it before the current day. So it's better to look at the monthly astrology, which I will be doing March, January, February, March coming up this week. Anyway, but we'll go back to today. Today we also have the annular solar eclipse in Aquarius. So I won't be doing tarot today. I don't do tarot during any eclipse, but Venus is conjunct the North Node. That also involves the eclipse. I have a video on that already. The link is in a bio. And on February 18th, but I will talk about all of this today, and I'll try to give you something new. Okay, February 18th, Sun enters Pisces. Happy solar return to all of my Pisces. You guys, best season for a tarot reader, right? Because Pisces, if there was no Pisces, I feel like I wouldn't be in business as a tarot reader. So there is that. February 20th, Saturn will conjunct Neptune officially. And on the 22nd, Venus will trine Jupiter. So Mercury trines first, Venus will trine Jupiter. Any planet entering Pisces will start to have this amazing trine with Jupiter. And then Mercury in Pisces, that is the day that it officially retrogrades. Right now we're in a pre-shadow phase and we're already feeling a thunder. So get ready for that energy and how that is going to affect us. Now, let me see if I can pull up the chart here. I think I have Los Angeles up. Let me remove Los Angeles and let's put currently now. Now, let me see. February 16th is when we had Jupiter conjunct Mercury. Now, I do want you to understand that Jupiter does represent law. So there could be a lot of things dealing with law and justice and the collective living together. Jupiter is a very positive planet. Trine is very positive. So any planets that are entering Pisces, you have here, the moon is in Pisces today. It was an eclipse early this morning, and then it enters Pisces immediately. But when you have the planets entering Pisces, they're all going to have this positivity with Jupiter, okay? Jupiter, when you have a water trine, you're talking about dreams, you're talking about things that are not said, but things that are felt. Mercury in Pisces, it doesn't like to be in Pisces, by the way. I've discussed that, but you have thinking in a very poetic, very visual, very psychic way. Logic kind of is secondary. It's more about the vibes kind of energy. Pisces is a very mutable energy. So not only is it a water sign and it likes to move and likes to flow, but it's very interchangeable and it takes over it takes on its environment. So while Mercury is in Pisces, you have two things happening, right? Because it's retrograding soon this week. So one part, you have that if it's working the way it should, right? Then you have the energy of taking on other people's emotions and feelings. Like instead of when you come in a room, instead of hearing what they're saying, you're feeling what they're saying. You're feeling what they're not saying, really. So you have that energy. Now, when planets retrograde, they either work really strong or they don't work at all. Okay. So the retrograde is just flips things up kind of energy. But thinking becomes more poetic, more visual. Is there's empathy, there's spirituality, there's creativity. You're dealing with the unconscious. You're dealing with dreams and sleep, right? And the end. It represents the end. Remember also too, it represents things you cannot see. Now Jupiter retrograding in Cancer. Now Mercury is in a pre-shadow phase, so we can just say it's retrograding while Jupiter is officially retrograding. You see, it's in red. That's in Cancer. Jupiter represents whatever it touches, it expands. So it could be expanding the intuition, the creativity, all the things that I talked about. That's very mutable. It is in the sign of the nurturer, of the home, of the family, of the past, of emotional security. It is the source of the river. Pisces is the source of the ocean. Again, a lot of water, cleansing kind of energy. But maybe this is more inward because you are talking about retrogrades. There could be a focus of emotional growth, family roots in the past, having some lessons being brought. Also, too, Cancer represents the sign of the mother. So there could be something with your mom who's very spiritual, very intuitive, a lot of healing conversations, a lot of healing energy, heightened intuition, creative downloads. You are talking about the past, so you're talking about nostalgia, but now there's a purpose. This is very religious. This is very spiritual energy. This is expansive mind energy. This is wide range of interest because that Mercury makes you very curious. So curious about something of the past, of a lineage, of something that's being repeated constantly. And those either with Homeland of America. I want you to know USA has a major Cancer themes too. Wide range of interests. I said that positive thinking, optimistic outlook, gift for planning and negotiation, good time usually for buying and selling. If you don't have Mercury retrograding in your chart of your in your natal chart, I would say no. But if you do, yeah, go ahead. Maybe buy some land or something like that. Let's see what we have. I'm good. Thanks. Confession. Love your energy. Thank you so much, Queen. And then we have is this your first stream on Twitch? Oh, you're watching me on Twitch. So exciting. It is not my first stream on Twitch. I'm actually on Twitch by default. I just press check download on Twitch. I don't know how to work Twitch. I don't know how to work X, but I'm on X, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. Where else am I on? I tried to be on every platform while being using one database. So there is that. Let me see what else you have here. Would you like to see my digital artwork? No, not right now because I am currently working, but maybe another time because I do love art and I do love, I have a strong Venus energy. Yes, anyway, so that is what we have. Let me see what else we have for a creative flow, effortless empathy, really feeling the energy of someone else, a lot of spiritual healing, trusting that intuition, trusting that gut, trusting that ping kind of energy. Great time for cleansing a space. Not during the eclipse, do it tomorrow. If you did it yesterday, that's great. This is a very soft energy because you're talking about very feminine, very internal energy. And now it has some strengths. Okay. Now, again, we are talking about Pisces. So there is some fog. You are talking about details being a little slippery. Be aware of that. Double check everything because you do have that pre shadow phase. Collectively, this is also dealing with the DNA of things. If you fall into that hole, Pisces represents the hole of falling into a hole because you're talking about the darkness of things. So if you fell into a hole on the whole Mr. Epstein things, then you are talking about DNA because you have that Mercury and Pisces, things that are very secretive, and ancestry, which is very Jupiter in Cancer. So DNA secrets, it's very heritage kind of based kind of energy. Also too, humanitarian aid and soft power, leaders who are like strong, but it's more compassionate, more loving kind of energy. And spiritual awakening also is what you get with this energy. Okay. Very positive. Everyone, go ahead and share some love, some compassion. Be really creative at home. Also, too, that is really great for that too. Now let's talk about February 17th. Which we're already on. Oh, let me change the day. Okay, to a day. Okay, so February 17th, we have the annular solar eclipse. Okay. So the eclipse, the moon is sitting right here next to the sun, and it's sitting next to the north node. That means we gain something new. I've talked about this for a while, but I want you to understand there is a wide to Mars that's in Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius too. We have to be aware of everything that's in the sky while something's happening, okay? So you have all that. The ruler of this eclipse is Saturn. It's sitting next to Neptune. So again, the secrets, the illusions, the deceptions, corrupts, anything dealing with conspiracies, anything dealing with things that are hidden, all that is dealing with that, even if it's an individual, a strong leader, or something new. Oh my gosh, we've never heard of that. This is new. This is new. Aries represents the first new, some new beginnings, all that. 0 degrees, very strong energy as well. So the eclipse is this season huge, 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 right? Because the ruler of the eclipse is doing some huge news, some huge goings ons here, right? And then also too, you're getting something new. And then Mercury's in a pre-shadow phase, retrograding, and it's sitting kind of close to Pisces. It's leaving Pisces, but the North Node is sitting next to Pisces. So you do have that, okay? Shocking to this system, you are talking about the internet when you're talking about Aquarius. You are talking about collective energy, a big group, and it could be a group that you may not know because you're dealing with Pisces energy. But the internet is going to investigate everything while Pluto's in Aquarius. You know, Pluto in Aquarius does represent a change. It does represent a transition, and Aquarius represents the people, and it also represents fighting for a cause, a lot of rebellions. Pluto, and also it represents AI, Aquarius. And so a big change in AI. Now, Pluto in Aquarius also represents investigation and intensity. And there's an intensity and an investigation with people who are very intelligent in social media. Okay. So you will most likely get your information from the internet more than the news. Okay. So there is that. But there is breakthroughs or breakdowns with this eclipse, a global infrastructure that's changing. Now, you do have this eclipse also, I forgot to mention, squaring Uranus. Uranus is also the modern ruler of this eclipse. It's in the sign Taurus. Both of these things do not want to change. So it's something that doesn't want to change, but there is something new that is going to bring the change. So you do have that. It's causing tension. Taurus represents things that you value, represents things that are very stuck, doesn't want to move. It's like the mountain that doesn't want to budge. There's very Capricorn energy, but Taurus is very stubborn. Taurus is a grounded energy. It's very practical. It represents tangible items, things that are very things you can just touch. Okay, so like your home, even a voice, even though you can't touch that, but it represents your home. It's ruled by Venus, so Venus is over there being shady and secretive. I'm sorry if I talk too fast or move too fast, or if I'm saying the information too fast. I want you to comprehend everything anyway. But Uranus in Taurus is that stubborn genius. Okay, it doesn't want to change, but it's a genius energy. This energy here, Aquarius, rules Uranus. Okay, Uranus rules Aquarius. So again, intellect energy. Okay. So when you have the earthly Taurus, Uranus, and it's could be overload because whenever Uranus is involved with anything, things move too fast. So you have people being overly stimulated by the amount of knowledge. Aquarius energy moves very fast. Okay, so even the Epstein files, even though only 2% of them have been released, then it's still an overload. There is a lot of things, and people are moving very fast. But remember, I told you Pluto's in Aquarius. There will be an intensity of intellect and investigation online. Okay, but you do have that. This also represents weird, awkward. I just want you to understand that. So personally, there could be something weird or awkward that's new in your life, but then it's moving fast and it's bringing something that deals with your stability or something that deals with your finances. Yeah, so something, and it's very awkward and weird. I just want you to understand that. Aquarius likes to freelance. It likes to have its individuality. It likes its freedom. But then the Taurus energy brings that grunt, that like, no, let's not change. So there is something like that. Let me see. Um, let me see what else we have with this eclipse. Also, too, I want to talk about the grand reset. I talked about that in 2026, and get ready for spring equinox. When the sun enters these three here, when the sun will be sitting next to Saturn and Neptune and Aries, the spring equinox is going to be bigger than ever. I just want you to know that. But let me see the eclipse also too. You are talking about Mars having a wide conjunction, but it's very aggressive and very confrontational when it comes to communication and the internet. So you have that involved here. Also with this eclipse, you have Venus sitting next to that north node. So it's almost like there's destiny. This was meant to happen. This also represents compassion, divine love, artistic Artistic encounters are maybe something like destined. You meet someone that's destined, like a love interest, because Venus represents love. Even money, it was destined to come your way. My husband played the lottery twice, won, nothing big, just like $50. That may be big to someone, but I blame it on this energy here. But this also could represent a dream and it's happening, it's meant to be, or the dream is making sense. Okay. This is very dissolving of the ego. Venus and Pisces is all about merging things together and your destiny is involved. Now, yeah, so you do have that. Let me see what else we have. Also to releasing, forgiving a female, forgiving a partner, forgiving something to have inner balance and harmony as well. Okay. Now let's talk about the sun entering. I got so many things. Um, on February 18th, the sun will officially enter Pisces. And this is when we have the solar return for all my Pisces out there. Happy birthday again. The sun represents the core of your personality. It represents I am. Whenever the sun is dealing with the collective, it highlights a lot of themes in that zodiac sign. So the sun in Pisces, first of all, the sun is like the hero, it's the self, it's the individual. It's like a higher octave of Mars, right? It highlights things. There's authority. There's leadership. It's the energy of taking charge. Also, too, there could be a fall of a leader whenever the sun is involved. When it's dealing with dark energy, it doesn't like to be in Pisces. Pisces again is the end. It's very like can't see here, and the sun likes to see. Okay, and Pisces likes to be hidden where the sun likes to be shown. It shines bright regardless. Okay, the sun also represents vitality. It represents life. It represents spotlight. It represents your conscious ego. um what else do we have? The father, when it's summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year, that's usually around Father's Day. So you do have that in America. A very paternal, authoritative energy. It represents creativity, your creative expression, pride, arrogance, narcissism. It rules gold. So there is that. It represents clarity and truth because it brings light. Things are no longer hidden. It's not in the dark anymore. The present moment. And now, when you have the sun entering Pisces, you get again that water energy, which is very changeable. Remember, it's a mutable sign, it's very flexible, it's very adaptable, it likes change. It's very wishy-washy. Okay. Also too, Pisces represents the two fish. When you have the two fish, they're swimming on the opposite side. So there's this tug of war between reality and the subconscious, between the dreams and what's happening really around the world. Okay. Very empathetic, very sensitive sign. There's no boundaries with this energy. Okay. This is where you have symbols, so the codes and the ciphers. It's going to be very interesting. Mercury is pre shadow phase retrograding, so let's see more of people talking in symbols and it actually making sense. You can no longer hide the code, so decoding a lot of things. Camouflage may not happen when the sun is in Pisces. You can actually see things that are no longer camouflage. Universal compassion, though. Well, Pisces, again, very unconscious, collective unconscious, a lot of dreams, a lot of spiritual energy, surrendering, sacrificing. There could be someone who is a martyr of someone, of something. This is a very healing energy and a lot of victim energy too. Like, oh my gosh, I gave up this for that and I had to sacrifice my energy for that. Pisces energy to me is very insecure too. So be aware of that. But you do have the psychic ability, things that are very mysticism. Pisces represents the end, it represents the feet, it's the lymphatic system. It's very vague, it's very deceptive. Again, victimhood. But a lot of releasing, forgiveness, and artistic intuition. Okay. Behind the scenes, secret societies. I'm trying to give it all to you so you can know hidden enemies. Also, to solitude. Pisces also represents a very old soul. Aries represents a baby. So you have that. So again, so we're at Pisces. Every time it's equal spring equinox, that really is the New Year's. For Western astrology. So while we're in Pisces season, this is almost like the December of the astrology, right? And in Pisces season, it is the end of an astrological year, and we're going to start something new. But it also represents an age, the old soul. It is the wisest, it's all the zodiac signs put together into this Pisces energy. So I do say insecurity, but the insecurity is because you haven't tapped into that. When you're old, you feel insecure because you physically can't do things. But if you really go into the knowledge of all the wisdom that you collected, it's very positive. So intuition over logic, heightened sensitivity, escapism, drugs, addiction, a lot of reflections while we have Pisces season, a lot of creativity, a lot of imagination, a lot of releasing and forgiving, a lot of spiritual themes, confusion, victim mentality, lack of clarity, emotional energy, very emotionally overwhelmed, very sensitive, avoiding hard truths. You have that. But great time to be very compassionate, great time to release the boundaries. I know some people are like, why would you release any boundaries? You release the boundaries because you want to be open and you want to be compassionate. You want to have oneness and love, emotional intelligence, a lot of therapy, a lot of healing, a lot of forgiveness, and surrendering a lot of things here. Okay. Now, I want to talk about quickly the dates while the sun is in Pisces. Let me see if I have anything else here. Okay. While the sun is in Pisces, let me talk about the dates here. These are the dates during Pisces season, February 18th, the sun will start to sit close to the North Node. So a lot of things of destiny starts to happen. On the 23rd, there is a wide trine for Jupiter. So more again of this feeling of great luck and positivity, but something that expands the past, something dealing with the past. On the 26th, they will officially conjunct the North Node and the Sun in the North Node. On March 1st, we have Sun starts to get close to that Mercury retrograding in Pisces. A lot of confusion there, possibly, or a lot of secrets coming out, and you're like, "What is the truth?" I don't know what to think of it. But when the Kazemi happens, I'll tell you the date on that. Then it'll be official. March 3rd, we have a lunar total eclipse in the sign of Virgo. I'll get into that a little bit more. The moon will be opposing Mercury. Mercury is the ruler of the eclipse. The eclipse is going to sextile Jupiter. We'll get into that. But on the 5th, that's when the sun will officially trine Jupiter. And on March 7th, that is when you have the Kazemi. That is an aha moment. And on the 18th, we have a Pisces new moon. And then on the 20th, it will be happy solar return to all the Aries. And then we will have the sun conjunct Neptune and Saturn. Okay. So let me explain what that looks like. Break it down more for you guys during the sun in Pisces. And I should have titled this video The Sun in Pisces, but we are talking about the weekly transit. So I want you to know that. But the main theme of this is what do we have to look forward for the next few days, not few days, the next 30 days while the sun's in Pisces. Okay. Now there are, I said a few phases, right? So the first phase, yes. The first phase we have here is February 18th, right? February 18th to the 26th, we have the sun having some business with our destiny. This is I would say the first phase is all about destiny. What are we meant to do? What doors are opening? And then it's trining this good luck energy as we move forward. So a lot of connections, a lot of wisdom. But what is your true destiny while the sun first enters Pisces? So get ready for that. Things are new coming for the future. Release being perfect, release the details, work on your spirituality and your intuition. Then we have destiny becomes emotional, identity shifts towards intuition, collective focus on spirituality, compassion, and things feel like they're subtle, but you feel it more than saying it. Okay. So, and then on February 23rd, we have that trine here officially happening. Let me see. Why do I have February 23rd to the 26th? That's when the trine starts to happen. And then you get this expansion of feeling safe, of emotional flow, of family, anything dealing with family and the family themes, and some past stories being said. Something from the family comes back. Okay. Now, the second phase, too. So we did phase 1. Phase 2, while the sun is in Pisces, is when you get the blackout information. Okay. This happens around March 1st. March 1st, you see here, the sun is getting a little bit closer to Mercury. And whenever the sun's involved and it gets it's far away, but it's getting closer, then you start to combust. You start to not kind of see clearly, okay? So the sun is approaching Mercury retrograde, and we have the total lunar eclipse coming up too. So this second phase is information blackout. It is going to be opposed Virgo when the eclipse happened. So crisis of the truth, critical glitches. You could have some technology glitches here. Virgo wants the facts. The ruler of Virgo is Mercury. It's retrograding. So the facts are really shaky. Okay. So just get ready for this is where it gets a little dark. Get ready for that energy. My phone is ringing. Anyway, okay, we'll just let it ring. Anyway, yeah, so you have that, a lot of confusion, a lot of maybe old conversations reappearing. Again, finances are still involved here. So again, money being lost, secrets resurfacing, internal reflection, a lot of the ego to being involved here. So the ego being hurt, maybe there's some rumors. Look at all these rumors. The rumors, the lies. Okay. All that happens. Now, I do want you to understand that on the 3rd is when we have the total lunar eclipse in Virgo, and the moon is opposing Mercury. Again, it can't see eye to eye from what's being said. Mercury is the ruler of the eclipse, so this is big. Also, too, it's sextile Jupiter. If you want to have the abundance, you can. Okay, so work with that. Or if you want to have justice and fairness, that can happen too. Opportunity to integrate. You have truth versus the truth versus the illusions, facts over feelings, over fixing versus surrendering. You have the health system, you have the labor, you have people working in their jobs, and there needs to be some releasing or forgiving or some endings. Now, this eclipse is next to something that we need to let go, something that is going to be lost. Okay. I want you to understand that this eclipse is something that you feel way before. So you're probably starting to feel this eclipse now versus the Aquarius eclipse. We already felt that. And now it's moving on to the Virgo eclipse. So get ready for that. Communication errors, information reveals consequences. Jupiter, though, it will soften things if you use it. So be aware of this eclipse. I'll go over that in another video in detail, but get ready for the March eclipse. We're already feeling it, okay? But Virgo eclipse represents details. It represents work. It represents logistics. It represents like a spreadsheet. Anything that's dealing with organized and details, even the service industry across the board, there is something that is going to be released and let go, okay? Now, phase 3 of the sun in Pisces. Yeah, we're still talking about the sun in Pisces. Around March 5th to March 7th is when you get the sun first adding some confusion, and then it will officially have a Kazemi. Okay. So when it has a Kazemi, then it's great. But then the sun is still, and while it's having that Kazemi, it's trining officially Jupiter. So again, a lot of expansion when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your perspective, when it comes to being soft and releasing and apologizing and feeling safe, security wise. But on March 7th is when we get that aha moment, that clarity. Whatever is on the news that day, believe it. Okay. Realization, message of clarity, confessions, insight. The confusion goes away. Very powerful for announcements. Okay, so get ready for that. And then lastly, while the sun is this last phase? I don't remember how many phases. I think it's 5 phases. While the sun is in Pisces, we do have a new moon happening March 18th in Pisces. And is that going to be at 28 degrees? Yeah, and it's sextile Uranus, so that is positive. If you want to do something online, that works great for it. If you want to be creative, think outside of the box. Yeah, the emotions here, though, very sensitive in a new start, or if you want to be very intuitive, new moons are great for new starts and manifestation. And you can manifest something that's very different out of the box, or something that's very creative, or something that's dealing with online. Okay. Let me see. Spiritual reset, emotional fresh start, creative inspiration. Yeah. Let me see. And then the last phase is when the sun will enter the equinox, spring equinox, okay? And it will sit here and sit next to Saturn and Neptune. Get ready for that. That is March 20th. This is going to be a huge theme this day, okay? Formal end of something, and now we're starting a new beginning. This is going to really mark a new era in something, a new start. Now everything ignites. Belief meets consequences, compassion meets structure, identity meets responsibility, action becomes unavoidable, fantasy becomes reality. The sun will highlight this. Everything through the Epstein files that are keeping the secrets. Maybe we'll get something here. Who knows? But something will highlight this energy. And then also too on let's go back. So that is what we have for Pisces season. Don't say I didn't warn you of any of that. But if we go back to currently February 20th, this is when you have the official conjunction of these two planets. And look at the moon sitting there. It's a wide conjunction, but it's sitting there too. The ruler of this conjunction is Mars, is in Aquarius. So it's dealing with the internet, it's dealing with the people, it's fighting for the rebellion. It's very intellectual energy. At the same time, you have this energy of newness and beginning when it comes to structure, when it comes to dreams. 0 degrees is very potent, it's very global, it's very visible. It's a hard reality, is when you have Saturn, and now Neptune is that bubble or that dream, and now it's bringing that hard reality to that dream. So, whatever you want to manifest, do it, put the work out, because the vibe in the sky for this week is going to work for you. Okay. Saturn represents walls, laws, disciplines. It represents the skeleton, the bones, a new foundation, and it rules over this new age in Aries, right? Neptune is about spiritual energy, the ocean, illusions, healing, forgiveness, releasing. The dream, and now it's going to be made real with that Saturn sitting there. It's going to bring the walls, it's going to set the boundaries, it's going to be accountable, it's going to think long term. Okay, Saturn rules boundaries, Neptune dissolves the boundaries, Aries brings the radical energy. There could be some redoing some maps here, literally redoing a map, because Neptune does represent a picture of something, and now there's a new picture of it, and Saturn represents borders across the world. So let's see what that happens. This is a birth of a new 36-year-old cycle. I do want you to understand that this starts 36 years on. So the beginning for the next 36 years, we have that. But there could be a fog. Conjunctions are strong and they're good and bad. But there could be a fog here, a fog with government. Government still being very deceptive. But Neptune only stays here for 2.5 years, and then it will move on to Taurus. And the government will be all about what we value in finances. So get ready for that. But Aries is all about the self. The beginning of self, illusions of self, being realistic about the self, being realistic about the body. Neptune also rules chemicals. It represents poison. I want you to understand that. So Saturn could be bringing also drugs and medication. Saturn can be bringing some new medication with that, or some new rules when it comes to regulations on certain things that deal with that Neptune energy. Okay. Also too, I believe that Neptune represents the hole that you go to on the internet. You know how you can have infinite possibilities on the internet. That is very much Neptune. Even you see people taking notes, and it's like this way they take notes is like, I well, whatever. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's not like the standard way of taking notes. It's like this infinite thing that you can make and brainstorm, and it just goes on and on and on. That is very Neptune energy. Saturn sitting next to Aries, it can bring something new, but maybe limit that too. So let's see how that goes. Now, later on, really actually next week, let's see. This is Friday, and then on Monday, well, really Sunday, we have that's when Venus will officially trine Jupiter. This is dealing with law. Both of these planets deal with law. So let's see if something happens with that. But they're both very positive. This is a great time to do anything emotional, okay? Anything dealing with sensitivity, anything dealing with the internal energy. They both like to be in a sign. Venus likes to be in Pisces. Cancer's like Jupiter likes to be in Cancer. So very positive. There's growth. There's internal growth. There's reflection. There's karmic. But this is not like out loud. This is more internal, emotional generosity, love that feels faded, financial and creative flow, family and maternal themes, very positive, the home, the ancestry, your protection. This also could be a pregnancy for a lot of people. Family healing, ancestral things, because you are talking about this newness here. Spiritual love, collectively, a lot of charitable acts, a lot of emotional messaging, things from the past, emotional memory as well. Now, this is very interesting because this is the same day that Mercury will officially retrograde. Where's my Mercury? Oh, it's not the same day. Oh, am I? When is Mercury? There it goes. Mercury retrogrades February 26th. Is it the 25th? I don't have the exact time, but let me see, let me actually put when it retrogrades, the exact day. Mercury March 20th is when Mercury, no, that's when it goes direct. March 25th is when it will retrograde, and it will go direct March 20th. Mercury in Pisces, again, secrets will be revealed, or things will be more confused than ever. Very psychic, very symbolic, very confusing things. Now, whenever Mercury retrogrades, you get rumors, and these rumors could be things on conspiracy theories or secrets or things that are very hidden. Sorry that the internet is not working. I feel like I see it's not working. That's because Mercury is in a pre-shadow phase retrograding. But emotional thinking, blurred communication, secrets, there could be leaks. We already get the leaks, okay? Nostalgic, very past, revision, confusion before clarity, escapism, talking about drugs, talking about addiction, very intuitive, very creative energy. Yeah, so that is what we have with Mercury retrograding in Pisces. I've already done full videos on that, but officially happens on the 25th at 22 degrees. 22 degrees is dealing with Capricorn energy. So, something dealing with the government or people's public image. Let's see what happens that day when it officially retrogrades. If you guys are planning to travel, this could cause some getting lost or losing your baggage or something. Also, two Pisces represents endings. Could it possibly mean that someone could be dying in the sky? Not you in particular, but we do have Pluto in Aquarius. Mars is at 27 degrees. Possibly a little loss or a lot of confusion happening in the sky. So be careful traveling. I will be traveling while Mercury's retrograding in Pisces. It's not my choice, but it was already pre planned. Whatever you're doing in regards to day to day travel and driving, I want you to take your time and move slow. I want you to understand that just because a planet is retrograding doesn't mean that you can't do what you normally do. You just have to really take your time, because God normally has Mercury working very fine. And now Mercury is like, up, slow down. So that means when you're driving, slow down. Things are very slippery. Things can change very fast. Someone can decide to go left and then they go right, because it's a mutable sign. So be aware of that. It's about driving slow and preventing more than anything. And when it comes to logistics, when it comes to details, that could be a little lost in the sauce and a little confusing. So be aware of that. Or maybe using your intuition will work better than ever with this energy. Okay. This is a great time to not to do whenever a planet is retrograding. You don't actually put things out there unless you have it in your chart, Mercury retrograding. Go ahead, release, do as you please. You're used to this energy. But if you're not, then I would say that this is a time to plan, write things out, and then when Mercury stops retrograding, that's when you release everything. Okay. Let me see what else we have. Happy Fire. Oh, yes, I forgot to say it is a new years for Chinese New Year's. This is exciting. The Fire Horse year, solar eclipse as well. If you didn't know, the Chinese astrology is more calculated by the moon. So it's very interesting. I wonder what they do. I really don't know Chinese astrology. I'm going to take a course in that and learn more. But yes, but it's very much huge on the moon more than what we do in Western astrology is the sun. But yeah, and let's see, the truth will be exposed 100%. That is what's going to happen, Sandra Doel. That is going to, do I say your name right? Doel. That's 100% going to happen while Mercury is retrograding in Pisces. And then you have these eclipses happening as well. Get ready for a big doozy. Let me see what else we have. Thank you for sharing your wise counsel. Thank you for watching. I'm surrounding you and yours with safe and protection. Yes, everyone who's watching, safe travels and be safe, even if you're not traveling. Use your intuition. Just use your intuition. A lot of love and compassion. Don't use hate. While we are dealing with Pisces energy, it's all about love. And yes, I'm trying to see. As you travel, you're saying be safe always. Yes. Thank you so much, Sandra, for the love. I appreciate it. And so that is what we have. Again, no tarot for today. And because of the eclipse. But next video I'm going to have is on a March astrology. And I might just do a video just on tarot, just because I just love tarot and we are dealing with Pisces season. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.